Hermvids with Mr. Herman. Educational videos about reading and writing. Hello class, Mr. Herman here. This video is about something called an I remember poem. It's not a specific style, it's just a type of poem that relies on you recreating memories in a poetic sense. So dust off those old memories because you're going to have to use one for this project. You're going to be writing a poem that describes, using details, a moment. The poem is meant to capture that moment in time. It could be something that is emotionally resonant, a visual memory for you, something that stands out as being important. Now, this is an example of someone describing a duck hunt, and they start off with an I remember statement, which the very first line just begins with I remember. I remember my first duck hunt. Paddling out to the blind, into the long tall sawgrass, the ducks feeding in the back of the pond. There you go. It gives you a pretty straightforward introduction, but there are details, visual details, and you can see there's that poetic form, where it's one sentence in the first stanza, but it's broken up to make it look more poetic. Step 2, use strong sensory details. Imagery, like I taught you before. Too dark to see. Yet the telltale sound of beating wings is all too tempting. I peer over the tall sawgrass to see many dancing shadows. A little personification there too. So we have the sound detail, the sight detail. This really makes this memory come alive. He's not telling a whole story here. It's just kind of a snapshot. Step 3, break up the sentences to give them a more poetic feel, just like I taught you before. As I stand in the blind, I see a lone duck, winging from my stand nestled in tall grass. I ready my gun and slowly shoulder my weapon. A little suspense there. Step 4, use good diction to create a mood or a feeling. All is silent as I carefully watch the form wing overhead as the boom of my shotgun awakens the early morning. Words like awakens and boom are examples of strong diction that make this ending come alive. You're going to pick a memory, you're going to express it in poetic form, it should be filled with imagery, maybe some figurative language and good diction, but it should be a snapshot that really reveals that memory in your brain.